Today we're going to have a maintenance day. I've been away for nearly a week. I haven't done anything on this area for nearly 2 weeks, apart from put some Kool-Aid out. But since I haven't been in here for nearly 2 weeks, the amount of duck poopies is just insane. So we're going to clean that off, the dirty dogs. Get a cut on this again at 3 mil, see how much comes off after 2 weeks of no cutting, and then cut the surrounds as well and just tidy this up and make it look schmick. Poop's all done. That's just a little bit of turd from there. I reckon that would be about 10 kilos of duck poo just there. So I think that's 8 days worth of turd from those ducks there. No, 7 days. 7 days worth of turd from the old duckies. They've done a good job. Now, I had a few guys saying you should bag it up and use it for fertilizer on the green or the surrounds. Probably would be good in garden beds, but on the green, the main reason I wouldn't want to is because there could be weed seed in there from the ducks eating from other areas. Good chance they've been chewing on some poa, wintergrass somewhere, so it's not worth the risk, like squishing it up and watering it down and spraying it across here. It's just not worth the risk, man. So if someone wants some poo for their garden, let me know. Have a look at how ridiculous it's all looking at the moment. Like super duper dark green. I swear every time I come out here, I say that it looks darker green, but it really does. Now the green is probably a little bit overgrown, but the ryegrass is still just popping, man. Broski, look at that, even those stripes over there. This is middle of winter. We've only got like 50 days until spring, and it is really ticking along now. I reckon we're gonna get a ton of grass off here today. Like you can just see that it's hairy. Like that's supposed to be a 3 mil. I would say that's probably at, I'd say some of it's at 10 mil to be honest. It's definitely overgrown, but it looks nice. It looks very good. So make sure this is cutting paper, something that you need to do every time before you mow, even if it's a new mower, even if it's something that's being background lately, backlapped, whatever. You've got to make sure you check that it's cutting paper. Otherwise you're gonna start tearing your leaf blade on your grass and there's more potential of diseases coming in and they're just struggling. Even in summertime especially, lots of fungus pressure and also heat stress because it's not going to absorb that water as well and it's going to just be a stressed boy. So we're cutting paper everywhere except for this end here actually. Which way have we got to turn it? I can't remember. It's the wrong way. There we go. Cutting paper all the way along. Well, we have cut a ton of grass off there. That is just ridiculous. I didn't think it had grown that much. Look at that. Woo! I'm gonna see how much we cut off. Okay, let's have a look at the difference in height. So, over this side where it's not cut, yeah, 10, 11 mil, as I said. Over this side, 3 mil. Beautiful. So we're cutting off a little bit more than a third of the leaf today, which is a little bit naughty, but it is what it is. 2 full catches off the green, which is, I love it. And I've only done a single cut too. I reckon if I did another cut, I'd probably get another full catcher off there, so we'd get close to 3. It just looks nice. Feels like spring. Today's warm. It's weird, I'm starting to sweat, which is weird for me in winter. Nice to have a little heat spell, so because I've got this warm weather around, I'm actually gonna give the green a little bit of a dusting to help get some more heat in the plant down there. Because believe it or not, actually giving the green a bit of a dusting with some sand, as I said, we'll get some heat in there and help this area grow. Plus, we need to be regularly top dressing this thing because of all those uneven patches, especially on the edges. There is just problem areas. I have been hand top dressing them anyway, and it's starting to fix them up a little bit. But there's just these little problem areas like this, and they are starting to creep in because we're getting some heat in there. But they're not super level, so sometimes the mower does dig in on these sorts of spots here. So we're gonna give the whole green a top dress because it's warm enough, it's growing enough, and it's just an opportunity to do it now. I wouldn't recommend doing this if your lawn is really dormant, like it's gone completely brown. Well, you could give it a dusting. It wouldn't really matter as long as it's sitting below the leaf. It's not gonna be a problem. If it's covering parts of the grass, you're gonna have an issue. But if your lawn is growing a little bit, you can definitely give it a dusting with some sand, just to help some areas level out and make it just look that little bit tidier as well. For me, as I've said to you guys, in the spring and the summer, I'm gonna be doing weekly, if not 2 times a week, top dressing of this area, just light dustings, just to really get the whole area nice and level. So I've got the Eco 250 here with some sand in it. Make a really quick job of this. Gonna use this big broom as well to sweep in the sand. Now we're doing a light top dressing. So we're only opening this up to setting number 1. There's a little lever just here, as you can see, just here, which we're only gonna open it up to setting number 1. Oh, that's number 2. There we go, number 1. And then spread the sand out across the green. Hopefully to push some more growth, but more than anything, just to make this thing level. I wanna try and do this weekly if we're getting warm enough temps even this time of year. So our tops at the moment are about 13, 14 degrees and our night temps are still dipping below, let me double check, 2 degrees. Oh, still cold, but hey, the bent's growing, can't complain. All right, let's get the sand out. I ended up putting out about, well, it would have been half a cube of sand on that area. Took it pretty well. There is some wet stuff that still needs to be rubbed in here and there. I did run the top dress a little bit slow on the first run, which it seemed to drop a little bit more down because it was a bit wet as well. So I ran a little bit higher on the revs on the second pass with that wet sand, and it seemed to work a lot better. We didn't get those streaks up and down there like that. So I just need to run the revs a bit higher when the sand is wet, because this sand does tend to clump together a little bit. So yeah, not great, but man, it's looking good. I'll have to come down and rub it in probably tomorrow once the sand just dries out a bit more. That's just the way it is, but bro, so good, so good. I would put some liquid fertilizer on here today to push that leaf through that with probably just some Enhance or probably some Pronto as well, but it seems to be growing enough at the moment, so I'm not going to push any more nitrogen. I'll check on it in a few days. If it needs an extra boost, I'll put some of that out, probably with my lawn tips mix as well. Thanks guys so much for watching, really appreciate it. Nice to be outside, nice to have the sun out, getting excited. It feels like spring is, even though it's not coming. I do this every year, get really excited in the middle of July, then we get one warm day. It feels like we're going to be getting into spring soon. Probably not, but I still want to get over to my fairways over here, turn them over, spray them again, and I want to get that irrigation done before springtime hits. So we really need to get done at least on this one here, up the back there where the zoysia is going to be, up that back corner. It's still quite wet back there because water does sit there for a little bit longer, whereas the water on this side tends to run off and towards the dam. So that's plans. Going to keep top dressing this through the season, keep the fertilizer up, make sure it keeps growing through the season. We're going to have a crazy start to spring. I'm excited for it. But thanks guys so much for watching, appreciate yous, and I'll see you all very soon.